we've got ESPN's ranks of WNBA players right now. And Caitlin Clark is really high. One could argue she's not high enough. But I think it's pretty surprising for a lot of these folks. I will tell you this straight up. Angel Reese ain't nowhere to be found in the top 10. She's not involved. You're not here. Sorry, but not sorry. You're not to be seen.
Here we go again. Angel Reese is in absolute shambles after ESPN's latest 2025 rankings dropped, and let's just say reality hit harder than any defender she's boxed out this season. Reese carried herself like the undisputed queen of the court, acting like she was the face of women's basketball, but ESPN had other ideas. Not top 5, not even top 10. They ranked her 12th. Yep, 12th. And let's be real even. That feels generous. Now the crown has officially slipped, and she's reacting like someone just snatched her favorite designer sunglasses. Full-on meltdown mode. Maybe ESPN just caught her latest blooper reel at Unrivaled.
Oh, let's all get a laugh together here, because this is the list. And you see the list, right? Well, I don't see... Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you see Angel Reese on this list?
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is chilling in second place, completely unbothered, letting her game do all the talking while Reese scrambles to save face. It's crazy to think that not too long ago, people were trying to force this rivalry, acting like Reese versus Clark was a real debate. Even the commissioner was playing along. Remember that?
Moment, if you recall, from 1979 when those two rookies came in from a big college rivalry, one white, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another.
Well, consider that conversation officially over. The gap isn't just obvious, it's embarrassing. Clark didn't even have to break a sweat, yet she's miles ahead, while Reese is probably rage-scrolling through her mentions, trying to tweet through the pain. Need proof? Let's be real, this is downright humiliating for Angel Reese. She had all the hype, all the media attention, and all the trash talk. She built her brand on being that girl, the so-called game changer. But when it came time to back it up, she's sitting outside the top 10, clutching a participation trophy. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has been minding her business, dropping triple-doubles, shattering 62 records, and casually redefining what it means to be a superstar. No gimmicks, no excuses, just straight-up dominance.
Okay, and lo and behold, I couldn't believe my eyes when I seen number 2, they had Caitlin Clark. I said, really?
And please spare me the beer. But she's a double-double machine B argument. Double-doubles are nice and all, but you know what's cooler? Being the actual reason people tune in. ESPN used to have this weird anti-Clark energy, like admitting she was that girl would physically hurt them. But guess what? Even they couldn't deny it anymore. She is the needle.
A lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness.
The numbers don't lie, the stats don't lie, and now, finally, the rankings don't lie either. Meanwhile, Angel Reese fans are squinting at the list, desperately scrolling, trying to find her name like it's hidden in the fine print. Sorry to break it to you, but 12th place isn't exactly superstar status. It's like showing up to an exclusive VIP party thinking you're the guest of honor, only to get stuck outside while Caitlin Clark's already inside, owning the room. The Caitlin Clark haters really tried pushing every narrative to make it seem like Reese was on her level, but now, silence. Crickets. It's almost peaceful without all that noise, isn't it?
Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion. She has no skill. She has energy, she has an attitude, she'll rebound you the basketball. Great. Nothing else. She has not, she's got self-awareness. She knows that she's not a very good basketball player. That's why she spends so much time half naked and taking pictures and promoting things that have nothing to do with basketball.
And let's not even pretend this would be the same story if the roles were reversed. Imagine if Caitlin Clark was ranked 12th while Angel Reese sat comfortably at number 2. The internet would be on fire. sports shows would be running. Entire segments on it. Reese's fans would be celebrating like they just won the WNBA championship. But now that Reese Howe is the one sitting at 12th, suddenly, rankings don't matter. Oh, now, ESPN's list is irrelevant? Funny how that works. Convenient, isn't it?
We did go off of how much winning Caitlin was doing, how she was contributing to winning, and then going off the viewership and all that. Oh, yeah, for sure. I think Caitlin should have won.
The reality is, rankings do matter, especially when you've built your whole persona around, people watch women's basketball for me too. And Caitlin Clark? She's sitting at number 2, though let's be real, she should probably be number 1. But that's cool. She doesn't need the top spot to prove she's the face of women's basketball. She's already done that with her record-breaking performances, packed arenas, and jaw-dropping highlights. This ranking, it's just confirmation of what we've known all along. Meanwhile, Angel Reese, yikes.
And now she knows it to the point that even when she's on the basketball court, she's aware like, this ain't really my thing. Let me get this hot potato out of my hand and to somebody that knows what they're doing with it as soon as possible. You got to see this clip. This is a 3-on-3 basketball game. Angel Reese strips a player at one end, runs down court with the basketball, 3-4 steps ahead of everybody, has an easy layup, and throws it to the girl behind.
What's even funnier, ESPN must have finally caught up with reality. Caitlin Clark has become undeniable. Remember last season when, for reasons that defied all logic, ESPN actually ranked Angel Reese above Caitlin Clark on the rookie list? Yes, above. The same Caitlin Clark who was out here breaking records like it was her side hustle, pulling up from the logo and making defenders question their life choices. And what was Reese doing? Vibing. That's about it.
This is ESPN's list, y'all, not mine. So don't be chirping, getting mad if your fave isn't at the top. So at number 1, we have Cameron Brink. Number 2, Angel Reese. Number 3, Kate Martin. 4, Rickea Jackson. 5, Julie Vanloo. And 6, Caitlin.
Now, the truth is out, and the rankings finally reflect reality. Caitlin Clark isn't just great. She's a generational talent. And Angel Reese? Maybe next time, less talking, more hooping. Sure, Reese pulled down some rebounds. Credit where it's due. But outside of that, what were we really watching? A walking highlight reel of missed shots, lackluster defense, and an offensive bag emptier than a vending machine after midnight. Yet somehow, despite all the bricks and defensive lapses, she was still crowned one of the top rookies, even earning a Rookie of the Year vote. Fast forward to today, and it looks like the experts have finally opened their eyes. Maybe they actually watched the games. Maybe they stopped believing the TikTok hype, or maybe reality just hit them like a missed layup off the backboard. Either way, justice has been served, because the more you watch Angel play, the clearer it gets. She hasn't improved. If anything, she might have regressed.
Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups? Not I.
Her shooting? Still a struggle. Calling it inconsistent would be generous. Her defense? It's giving stat padding energy. Just enough effort to fill up the box score without actually making a real impact. And let's not even get started on her offense, because that's a whole different case study. If her jumper had a personality, it would be shy, unreliable, and nowhere to be found when it matters most.
Number 2 player in the entire league, not on the Olympic team. Just pointing that out. And of course, you did have some haters. Please, Clark is not better than Stewie, Fee, or Inescu. Clark is not better than Stewart. They glazing Clark is not better than Inescu, blah, blah, blah. No matter what Caitlin Clark does, she's going to have some haters out there. It's just they're losing their minds over all the people that have either been traded for and signed for the Indiana Fever right now. And of course, it looks like a powerhouse of a team.
This is exactly why last year's ESPN ranking was so baffling. They really tried to convince us that Angel Reese was better than Caitlin Clark. Seriously, what were we watching? Caitlin was out there, leading her team, rewriting WNBA history, and casually pulling up from the logo like it was part of her warm-up routine. Meanwhile, Angel was grinding out the most painfully average double-doubles you've ever seen. Numbers that looked decent on paper but meant nothing when you actually watched the games. Now, after months of excuses, overhyped debates, and keyboard warriors defending her every misstep, the truth is impossible to ignore. Angel's game just isn't it. And the more she plays, the more obvious it becomes.
Asia number 1, Caitlin number 2, Brianna number 3, and now we really have Brianna over Nafisa in terms of projections going into next year. Stop. Nafisa Collier is definitely top 2 in this league.
Finally done with the nonsense. The great debate between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese? Yeah, that never should have been a debate in the first place. The record is officially straight. Caitlin Clark is hooray, and Angel Reese is just there. Clark is redefining the game, breaking records, draining logo threes with ease, and making defenders look like they're stuck in slow motion. And the best part? She's doing it all while Angel and her crew sit on the sidelines throwing shade like it's their full-time job. Someone should probably tell Angel, trash. Talk is only cute when you can actually back it up. Otherwise, it's just noise.
There is no individual who has benefited more from the Caitlin Clark effect than Angel Reese. That's my hot take. Think about it. From going up against her, playing her in college, taking on that villain role, going into the league at the same time as Caitlin Clark, everything that she's said and done on social media or in post-game press conferences, she is a star because of Caitlin Clark. She would not be a star if Caitlin Clark weren't a player. She'd be just as good a women's basketball player. She'd have been picked high in the WNBA draft and would still be a good player. Yep. But she is a star because of Caitlin Clark.
She would be a star in women's basketball circles.
Well, that's not what I mean, though.
Yeah, no, I
she
know.
is a star in the...
And then there are the Angel Reese stands. Oh boy, the delusion is historic. They'll swear up and down that her game is unstoppable, while conveniently ignoring the fact that she's out here bricking shots like she's trying to build affordable housing. They'll cry about haters whenever someone points out basic facts. News flash. It's not hate if it's true. We're not being mean. We're just using our eyes. Try it sometime. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is casually dropping 30-point games, setting records like it's just another Tuesday, and generating more revenue for the league than entire franchises combined. The impact is undeniable. And Angel? She's just out there existing. And when her team loses, which happens more often than her fans like to admit, she's always ready with a laundry list of excuses. It's the referees, it's the system, it's the media, maybe, just maybe, it's...
Angel Reese went on this massive rant last year with Kennedy Carter, I believe, standing next to her about how people are tuning in for her. It wasn't just one other person, but all these people are moving the needle and people want to watch her, except you're not her. You're not.
The debate is over. Not that it ever should have been a debate to begin with. Caitlin Clark is the future of the WNBA, the face of women's basketball, and a generational talent who's already changing the game. Angel Reese? She's just another player with a loud fan base and a jumper that needs divine intervention. And honestly, that's all that needs to be said.
She don't want that smoke, Steve. She wants nothing to do with having to shoot the basketball. And I give her credit. It's self-aware.
Right now, there's only one name standing between Caitlin Clark and that MVP trophy. And unfortunately for the rest of the league, it's Aja Wilson. Yeah, sure. Aja's got her MVPs. She's been the cornerstone of the stacked Aces team, and she's definitely a force. But let's be real, she's holding on to that top spot for dear life. Because Caitlin Clark is coming, and she's coming fast. This time next year, we might be talking about Clark as the undisputed best player in the league. And honestly, would anyone even be surprised? Not at all. The Gear Indiana Fever, well, went absolutely wild in free agency, stacking their roster with talent like they're assembling the Avengers. And a Caitlin? She's about to go full superhero mode. We're talking MVP-level numbers, record-breaking threes, and defenses looking like they accidentally walked onto the wrong court, completely clueless on how to guard her. The poor Fever are looking scary, and the Aces better hope their championship window isn't closing, because Caitlin's arrival just shook up the entire league. As for Angel Reese, she might want to stop worrying about ESPN rankings and start worrying about staying relevant. Because if this season was any indication, things are only going to get worse.
The Indiana Fever did last night got me so excited. The Fever, if you haven't been paying attention, they are really active in ensuring that Caitlin Clark and company have a true contending lineup next season.
One thing is crystal clear. Caitlin Clark is the main event, the superstar, the showstopper. She keeps getting better, and the rankings prove it. More points, more fans, more broken records, and more eyeballs glued to the screen every time she steps on the court. At this point, the only thing she hasn't outdone is sign autographs while dropping 40, but give it time, that's probably on her to-do list. Reese fans were loud in 2024, screaming about how she was on Clark's level. But now, crickets. They went from Reese is just as good as Caitlin to, well, Reese tries really hard. And even that's a stretch on some nights. It's been a while since anyone with a straight face could put Reese and Clark in the same sentence, unless the sentence is, Caitlin Clark is a generational talent and Angel Reese is also present.
I think they had a list last year. She was like 15 or something like that. And Angel was like 19. And this year they got it closer to being right. It's more so, it's closer, okay? She's second. And I'm fine with that, you know what I mean?
Interview 17, because while Caitlin keeps elevating, Reese keeps doing the same thing, talking loud and playing small. The My Hype train left the station a long time ago, and Reese is still trying to buy a ticket. At this point, the only thing she's consistently good at is my talking and twerking. And honestly, that's not exactly a winning formula on the court.
The biggest thing for me is her not even responding to all the that's going on. And I think that's commendable. I think she's a unicorn. She's doing everything I thought she was going to do and more, like win the MVP.
You think Caitlin
That's not going to happen this year, but it could happen very soon.
It's great for the conversation.
Y'all all went to the Olympics and now y'all losing now. Y'all burnt out? Y'all should have let this young girl go over there and play.
I just don't
But
think
then she
there's
would
a
have been.
correlation.
Nah, but she would because she's a rookie. He let these young play. Caitlin Clark is a superhero.
And since we're on the topic of overrated, let's take a moment to talk about Aja Wilson. Oh, I know. Aces fans are already foaming at the mouth, clutching their championship banners like a security blanket. But let's be real. Y'all act like she's the second coming of basketball greatness, when in reality, she's just riding the coattails of a stacked super team. Put Caitlin Clark on that same roster, and she's dropping 50 a night, while probably solving world hunger in her spare time. Wilson fans love to act like she's untouchable, but let's not forget, she disappears in big moments more often than my Wi-Fi during a thunderstorm.
Oh, Caitlin Clark is somebody that is going to probably, she's going to, I would say, be, in my opinion, the second favorite for MVP. I think she is going to be the second favorite for MVP in the WNBA. That is how confident I am in Caitlin Clark's year 2.
Now, here's where it gets really funny. Wilson fans are having a full-on meltdown, blaming the Fever front office for daring to build a competitive team around Caitlin Clark. How dare Indiana actually try to win? First of all, it's literally the job of a front office to build the best team possible. That's their entire purpose. And second, Weren't these the same people us cheering when the Ye Aces loaded up with 6 Olympians? Oh, but now it's a problem because the Fever did it better. The irony is almost too good.
I need somebody to investigate Indiana. I need Indiana investigated. Unfortunately for Indiana, I will be praying on their downfall. I will be praying for them to lose every single game. Like, I just can't. I just can't.
In. Indiana, though, things are looking bright. Like championship bright. The Fevers are riding a wave of momentum. That's more like a tsunami at this point. Caitlin Clark's arrival was already seismic, but now it's like they poured rocket fuel on an already blazing fire. Analysts are calling them a top 3 team in the league, and with some even predicting they'll take the championship this year. This isn't just an improvement from the team that could barely scrape together to 5 wins 2 seasons ago. This is a full-blown WNBA power shift.
They're giving their star, Caitlin Clark, all the pieces she needs to be successful. And you have to clap for that, because this is what you do when you have superstar talent. You build a superstar team. And this is what the Indiana Fever have.
And through it all, Caitlin just keeps doing Caitlin things. Making history, packing arenas, casually breaking records like it's her weekend hobby. She's got more fans than half the league combined. And honestly, the WNBA should be sending her thank you notes and fruit baskets at this point, because she's single-handedly raising the league's profile. As the Tucker 2025 WNBA season approaches, the entire basketball world is buzzing with anticipation. The Indiana Fever, once the league's lovable underdogs, are now legit title contenders. Caitlin Clark is finally being recognized for what she's always been. One of, if not the best basketball players in the world. Aja Wilson better watch her back. And Angel Reese, well, she's somewhere in the dust, still trying to figure out how this all happened so fast. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.